Welcome back to my channel. It's Yuck, and I want to have some conversation with you guys. First, let me get my mate. And if you don't know, mate is, I think it's more of a Latino, like Uruguay, Argentinians. I get it from Argentinians. So I drink mate most mornings. Sometimes I drink coffee, but for the most part I drink mate. And it's mostly, it's yerba. So I think it's more of like I would have to get the bag to read it for you, but I think it's more like a herb that you mix with water, and I put agave in mine. But this is actually a mate. So I guess this is the cup from what I've learned. It's actually really therapeutic. I actually love it, but I wanted to bring you guys here. I know you're wondering, like, why did you bring us here? To have some conversation about some things. One, thank you guys again for 1,000 subscribers. After this video is actually posted, we've already hit 100,000 views. And that was the next goal. After 1,000 subscribers, I wanted to hit 100,000 views. I think I was in between 60,000 and 70,000 a month. And I said to myself, I was like, oh, I just want to hit 100,000 first. And I know after that, it kind of like, you tell yourself, okay, 100,000, 200,000, 200,000, 300,000. And I'm so grateful for everything. I watched other videos about how your page does this thing after 1,000 views, because it kind of sends off to YouTube that you have content and you have people that are following you. And I'm not gonna lie, it's actually working. It's actually going faster than I thought. I think in one day, from yesterday to today, which is just 24 hours after I've hit 1,000 subscribers, I've gained 90 more subscribers in one day, in 24 hours. So that is something that I can definitely say for people that may have, questions, or like, after I hit 1,000, what happens? Does it change? Does my subscribers, does my views go up? Which I will make another video after I check, as far as like videos and things like that. I definitely will update you guys on how this process works, how it goes. My hair is still blue. It'll be gray soon, so look out for that. And yeah, it was just something that, like I told you guys before, it was something that I definitely wanted to do. So again, thank you. I'm truly, truly grateful. I was actually speaking to some friends the other day about common stereotypes in Mexico, and how I oftentimes want to break these stereotypes down, whether it's from London to Barcelona to Mexico City. I want to break the stereotypes down for Americans that may be afraid of some of these places. Again, I often give videos, I give stuff about the cartel, I get a lot of things. And oftentimes I'm just like, no, it's very safe. So that was something that I wanted to break down. Are there dangerous places in Mexico? Absolutely. Absolutely, but it's dangerous places in America as well. So this is just for the Americans. Do I like leave and go out at night all the time? I'm usually out late. I have a lot of fun. I never feel like I'm in danger. Again, it's just certain things that I wanted to make sure that you guys understand. Do the people, someone in my gym asked me recently, like, what's the most racist thing like the most racism that you deal with in America? And I was like, usually just with black people and white people, to be honest, when it comes to racism. I said, that's the most. I'm black, so I would just say for black people, but it's historically speaking, it's that. And somebody asked me, do you ever deal with racism in other countries or in Mexico? Because the guy was in my gym was asking me. And the question is no. Do I think There are racist people in Mexico, yes. And I'll pivot for a minute. There are many times where I have been on like vacations, for instance, in Oaxaca, where people ask me why I moved to Mexico. Like, why did you move to Mexico? Mexico, America is so much more beautiful and things like that. And I think, from the outside looking in, we all have that thought about the country that we're from. For me, I think there are things that are probably happening in Mexico that I don't know about, or that I'm not privy to because I'm not a native. But I do find it very interesting that I have had Mexican people or people from Mexico that will say to me, yeah, America is more beautiful. I love America more. I want to go to America. And it always throws me off. I've heard it in airports with people having conversation, and even people that are like in small pueblos in Mexico, they're all like, oh, I want to go to Mexico. I want to go to America. I want to go to America. And for me, it always blows my mind. And going back to the racism part, I don't think that I face racism. And I'll say, I don't think I face racism in Barcelona. I don't think I face racism in Mexico. I do think that it makes it a little easier that I try. Because I don't want to discount anybody's experience, because people of color have told me that they've had issues in these countries as well. And I personally try. Most times though, I've told people a lot of time, pretty privileged, being handsome, having or looking the part of that you care for yourself. Not saying that the other people don't, but I am a muscular man. I have tattoos. I look a certain type of way. And most of the time I'm speaking Spanish. So I think that is a little more of a leeway into certain things than on a respectability portion of everything. So I think for me, I've had it a little easier because of that. And there's another guy, I forget his name. If I figure him out, he's a guy, big, tall guy. He's been all over Latin America, travels the world on YouTube. And I think he's had issues, which is interesting, in Mexico, as far as like police stopping him, things like that. And I've never had these issues, and I don't know why. If it ever happens, I will definitely let you guys know. But I've never had these issues. I would love to know why, but I've definitely come off more friendly. I definitely come off, not saying other people don't, but I come off more interactive. And for the most part, I shy away from certain things that don't really feed my soul or I'm not really interested in. So I think for the energy portion of myself, because I think I'm big on energy, I think the energy portion of myself is like, either don't fuck with him or he's just not the one. Let him do his thing. So I've never had that issue. So that's my take on when it comes to racism in other countries. I am going to another country at the end of the year, and I will definitely tell you guys about how, or if I experience racism in some way there. Yeah, it's just one of those things that I've never had to deal with. Again, I've told people like, hey, in Barcelona, there were many times I've got out of tickets. There were many times I've not had to do certain things, like, for instance, I think I posted on Instagram the other day, I was on my phone on a bike here in Mexico. And in Barcelona, that is terms for a ticket and €100 ticket, and I mean, there's been many times where I've gotten out of it, like just been like, I'm sorry, there's nothing I can do about it, it was an emergency, and they've let me out of it. So that for me is one of those things where I'm like, I don't really know if what's the reason, so I don't know. But again, I definitely want to thank you guys again. If you made it to this far, to this video, thank you. I think you guys are making my dreams come true, because I always wanted to be able to throw out content, give content, and be able to have my voice heard in a way that I haven't heard before. and not be so boastful and not so braggy as some people I've seen on YouTube. And for the people that support me, I think for me it came off as a person of color, being able to explore the world, see the world. I will always see women. I think it's only one guy I've ever seen, that black guy that I've seen. And I was like, when I wanted to go to other countries, visit other countries, I didn't have a reference. You know, I think me seeing videos of people that are white, it didn't really feed my soul, because their experience was gonna be different than mine. And I needed to hear from somebody else, like, how was it? How are these interactions? What do I need to look for? You know, what things, you know, need to happen? And I think that's why I started this channel, is to merge the gap, to show people the differences between what's actually happening in this world and how your experience is going to be, but also how to integrate yourself into these cultures that makes it easier for you and for your experience. So again, thank you guys for 1,000 subscribers. Now it's probably 1,100 subscribers. And thank you guys for 100,000 views. That actually is big to me. 100,000 views is so big to me. Thank you guys, thank you guys, thank you guys. I love you, and I will see you guys next time. Ciao.